the 2018 flu pandemic, also known as Spanish flu. This pandemic was caused by H1N1 virus, where early traces were found in avian origin. This kind of pandemic highly attacks the respiratory system. And the unique thing about this virus is its mortality or death rate is the highest among 5 years and younger, 20 to 40 years old, 65 years and older. There is no disclosed origin of the flu, although one theory believes that US soldiers spread the disease through military campsites and later on globally as the pandemic or the flu was in the midst of World War I. Preventive use of face masks were used to avoid spread and the catching of disease. Also, the health officials advised the public of the open air method to avoid containment of the virus inside a closed area or test. Nearly 5% of India's population by that time were wiped out by the virus, which is the highest mortality in any country. While Philippines was in the fifth, nearly 2% of its population by that time was wiped out too. There is a shortage of medical personnel due to the fact that medical personnel were sent alongside with the military during the war. This left the government with no choice to hire and to train volunteers with medical trainings to aid and to fight the pandemic. Also, by that time, US and European health associations released guidelines on how to prevent the catching of disease. They stated that a person must maintain proper rest, a person must be exposed to fresh air, and a person must maintain his or her personal hygiene. And also, they stated another preventive method on preventing this pandemic to spread throughout the body by the means of gargling and rinsing of the upper respiratory passages. This blocks the spread of disease. No vaccine by that time because of the fact that the origin of the virus is still unknown. As reported by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, roughly 300 million of the world's population contracted this disease, and 50 million unfortunately perished. First flu vaccine was developed 20 years later by Jonas Salk and Thomas Francis. How can we learn from this early pandemic? We must show adequate support to the needs of the modern biotechnology, financially, support by public, and also to the virology, as they help in developing vaccines, tracing the origin of the virus, and make extensive research. Also in the article by World Economic Forum, they stated that states or cities from US, their study shows that those who implement measures such as social distancing and early lockdowns and quarantines, um, they avoid the negative impacts to the economy than those who did not have early implementations. And after the outbreak in the 1918, the cities also have no adverse economic effects over the medium term.